Hello, everybody. I have a good news and a bad news. The good news is I'm finally making use of my law degree and putting the stuff I learned into action. The bad news is things seem to be a little bit elusive at this point in time, and succeeding in my first case might seem a little bit far fetched than what I expected. So, to start off with, I lodged a complaint with the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka. This is regarding an incident which took place since these are regarding incidents which took place since 2014 and which became aggravated or which got escalated in 2016. This is an incident related to an army camp, which in Salawa. I'm not going to go into details due to certain security reasons, but if you really want to find out the details, you can contact the Human Rights Commission and try to get the information which you need. So the thing how this is related to me is since these events started happening, my fundamental rights has been badly affected and violated. My fundamental rights under the Article 11, 12, 14, and 126 of the Constitution of Sri Lanka uh, are believed to be violated after these incidents took place. So, my right to a dignified life, right to be free from degrading and inhuman treatment, right to be free from torture, right to movement and to seek employment are all violated since these events took place. So I informed the police and I lodged a complaint with the police on the 21st October 2024. So they took the statement, but ever since they have been very reluctant to accept my calls and let alone they were very unwilling to meet me or give me an appointment to discuss the matters further. So here there's a breach of my right to equal treatment and to seek justice. So, because of all these reasons, I finally decided to consult the help of the Human Rights Commission and I lodged a complaint on the 6th of April. Now, the thing is, when I went there, they were very friendly and they didn't give me much legal facts about the case and how it's going to be handled. So I just gave them two letters which explaining my situation, but I didn't produce much evidence at that point in time. But however, so I waited and they said they will send me a letter to my house, and I waited for 2 weeks and I didn't get the letter. So I finally called them and they said to come and meet them. And I went to meet them and they gave me a piece of paper. It didn't have any legal materiality to it. It's a simple letter saying that my case doesn't fall in line with the mandate of the Human Rights Commission, and that therefore they will not be proceeding with the case. So I was really, really, really frustrated about this because from my side, I was honest. I was very honest about my case, and I'm a bachelor of law. When I say there is a violation of my fundamental rights, I'm pretty sure there is a 99 probability, there's a 99 possibility that it is being violated, and I make my statements based on evidence and facts. And some of the facts has to be it has to be investigated by the police, which they are not doing. So now the Human Rights Commission has some amount of powers to bypass the police and the Attorney General's department, so they can exercise that power to find the evidence they need. But nevertheless, I decided to make a reappeal, and I made a reappeal on the 28th April, and I produced some evidence as well. This includes a voice clip and then again a certificate which proves that my internet privacy has been violated and very badly. So I gave that to them. So now the case is still pending. I hope they will do what is right and they will look into the matter with a little bit of extra attention. but I'm little fearful about their actions, like I'm scared whether they are still they whether there is any corruption going on, and whether they are negligent, or whether they are under duress to make an incorrect decision here. And here the complaint, this is a fundamental rights case, so this is against the government to a certain level, and this is against the Department of Defense, the Attorney General's Department, the Police Department, and the government basically. So there's something which I came across recently while I was going through my Instagram profile. So this is a statement which was made by a person in the army, but he claims is that as people in the army and like in the defense and the government, as they climb up the ladder, they come under increasing pressure to manifest themselves as correct even when they're wrong, right? So even when they're morally and ethically wrong, sometimes they try to like paint themselves as these godly figures who are incapable of making mistakes. Now that is wrong. It should not be the case. When you do something wrong, when the fault is on you, especially when you're a government, like you have a massive amount of power. A person on the street, a layman on the street doesn't possess that kind of power. They are helpless, they are very innocent, they are very juvenile, and they are very feeble, they are weak. So so you have to always try to take their side. You have to try to take their side, because that's what the social contract is about. Social contract is about helping those who are vulnerable, who are weak, who are at the disadvantage, and making sure that they get the resources they need and the help they need to come up in life. So here, so getting back, so when you are in that kind of position, when you're in a higher ranking position in the military or the government, sometimes you have to learn to take responsibility for your actions. And by saying that you did something wrong and taking action to rectify that situation, and maybe to help a person, a victim who has suffered and who has fallen into misery because of such thing, is not a bad thing after all. You might make his life better, and you send a good message out to the world. And when you do that, when you take responsibility for your action and your mistakes as a high ranking officer, something good will happen. Those people who wants to pull you down, who wants to fight against you, will change their attitude towards you. They will want to help you, they will want to see you rise. So that will happen when you do the right thing and rectify the situation, especially when you are working for a government and organization with a colossal amount of power. You have to have that integrity within you to take responsibility for your mistakes. So now, in my case, it is a very clear thing that the government is at fault through their action or inaction. Even if they haven't done anything, then it would have happened through negligence, and some other wrong party might have exploited that weakness in them. So still they will be liable. And the thing is, now when it comes to the government, and when it comes to defense and place and institutes like that, sometimes when you're a high ranking person in an institute like that, sometimes when you take the liability, when you take the fault, you are not going to be personally liable. The government will pay, right? So for you, sometimes you might get a little bit of backlash from the society, but at the end of the day, you're in safe hands. Only you're not going to be personally liable for anything, because there's vicarious liability there. The government, as the employer, will be responsible for compensating the victim and to rectify the situation. Now, in the UK and USA, we have seen this happening. There they pay a significant amount of attention to the concept of individual ministerial responsibility. And like there, and the ministers and certain officials in the UK and USA and many countries like that, They are self-disciplined. Whenever they do a mistake, even no matter how tiny it is or how matter how big it is, they take responsibility for it and they take action to rectify the situation. We have seen this in such cases, like when you take people like David Cameron, and then again when you take people like Rishi Sunak, even Sajid Javid, Thomas Dugdale, they all stepped down when their departments didn't function right, or when their departments did something wrong. So, but then again, later on, they came into power again, right? But thing is, they took action to rectify the situation. So, in Sri Lanka also, we had to foster that kind of culture, especially within the government organizations, etc., who has a colossal amount of power at their disposal. We had to always try to make sure we look at the weaker party and do justice for that weaker party. So I hope that I will get an amicable response from the Human Rights Commission. Now, when I went to the Human Rights Commission last time, they just simply gave me this letter saying that it's not in line with that my case is not in line with the mandate of the Human Rights Commission. But they didn't even provide me the legal facts on which it's been rejected. Now, when you're providing a rejection letter, especially from a place like Human Rights Commission, which is at a very high place in the legal structure, they had to be able to give the exact facts or grounds on which the case has been rejected. It is crucial for them to do that, because it is only then that a person can take the letter and go to a higher place seeking justice. Without that, they will look like they're unhinged, right? It's not right. When you're a legal department at that level, in a superior position, you have to always be able to talk with facts and give the legitimate reason why a particular case is admitted or dismissed. So that has to happen, because in Sri Lanka, before Sri Lanka becomes a Singapore, we had to start with the legal system. Human Rights Commission, the Attorney General's Department, the Police Department, they had to be flawless. I know we can't achieve 100% accuracy and efficiency in these institutes at once, but we can get close, or at least we have to make an effort to do so. When these institutes start working only, we can build a city on top of it. That is only then we can try to build a Singapore on top of that legal infrastructure. Now, especially during this time of AI and all this geopolitical tension, it is crucial that we get the legal institutes right in the first place. So they had to make sure that they discharge their duties with the highest standards and they adhere to the formalities. Especially when they reject a case, they had to give the exact reasons why they are not doing so. And then again, I was not provided with the proper solicitor to discuss my matter further even. So I had to give them the legal facts on which my case has to be argued on. So I gave them a document with around 20-15 pages, exactly highlighting how my case should be argued on, how and what on what grounds my case should be prosecuted. No, or the legal action should be taken. So that is something which the Human Rights Commission should do. But then I had to do it myself. Now I'm really disappointed about that. But let's hope they will go through all that and come up with a good solution. And they will help me find justice. Because if they don't do it, when good people will leave this country, and Sri Lanka will be left with crooks who doesn't have the knowledge and who has like malice motives within them, and this country will turn into hell. Will not let it go to that level. I'm asking for a simple thing. Just do what is right. The government is at fault. Take responsibility and rectify my life, because my life, my private life, my career, everything depends on that. Because when you do that, we can help the country. We can spread good words about this country. We can tell that the government is a responsible government and they did what is right. When we do that, more people will be attracted to this nation. Right now, what we are seeing is an exodus of people. It is obvious that such thing is happening because when the legal structure, when the legal system doesn't work right, it's obvious that people will want to leave, and this place will be left with the remnant, or else the the it will be left with the spoiled apples, which will destroy the entire country and its future. So I hope the Human Rights Commission will look into this, and I hope the other officials in the parliament will look into this matter as well and help me find justice. Thank you very much. Cheers.